Don't tell anyone, it's between you and me, but I've finally overcome my stubbornness and I've gone the heated vest. Welcome to the future. As another first, I'm riding a Moto Guzzi, popping my Moto Guzzi Cherry. And what a thing to do it on, the new V100 Mandello. So much to unpack here, so much to pique the interest of a motorcycle journalist, because there's so much that's a first for Moto Guzzi, and even some things that are a first for the motorcycle industry. This is the first Guzzi with an IMU, the first with a single-sided swing arm, the first with liquid cooling. It really is the biggest step up we've seen from Moto Guzzi in quite some time. A brand new 1042cc engine. In the traditional configuration though, the keen-eyed amongst you will notice that the head has come out the side rather than the front this time. We've got 84.5 kilowatts, let's be generous and call that 85 kilowatts, and 105 Newton meters. So it's got a bit about it. It's sort of trying to do a lot. I'm so interested to see a motorcycle that breaks the mold and doesn't just do what everyone else is doing. It really separates itself, and of course, Moto Guzzi would. And what I mean by that is, it's a sports tourer, but it's got sort of high performance handling characteristics. It's also kind of a roadster. It's kind of making a new segment for itself. And of course, if you've read about this at all, you'll know about these little wings that open up to deflect air off your legs and water and stuff. So really a lot to get my head around, but I've got 2 days on the bike. I cannot wait to really see what this thing's like. It's my first time on a Moto Guzzi. I'm sure it's still got plenty of that character that the brand's become renowned for and why people really seem to love it. Guzzi Tragics are like no other. They are as rusted on as they get. Maybe I'll be one of those, you reckon? Spencer the Guzzi nut? We'll wait and see. Come along, guys.
Yeah, the ergos really seem to strike a nice balance between being really comfortable, yet you can still kind of get a nice tuck on, you can still move around the seat a lot, and I really like that. A sports tour has got to be comfortable, but it's also got to be sporty. It's all in the name, isn't it? But not all bikes capture that compromise as well as this one, I tell you that. And that pull out of corners is just really, really exhilarating. You know, can it be the most brutally efficient sports touring machine out there? Well, you'd have to say surely not. But to the right set of eyes, the Moto Guzzi brand is quite compelling. And that's because when you buy into the Moto Guzzi brand, you're sort of buying the style, you're buying the history, you're buying the character. And that's not for everyone, but it's certainly quite captivating for a particular crowd. And I have to say, I'm starting to get it. It feels like its own beast. Nothing about it feels cookie cutter. And you know, as a motorcyclist, that excites me. We should celebrate uniqueness. We've got 4 rider modes. I'm in the sporty one, feels about right. It's fast, but that power comes on in just such a unique way.
What a treat. Welcome to the Cathedral of Moto Guzzi. Surely the finest collection of Moto Guzzis in Australia, if not the world. Our charismatic custodian Teo is going to give us a little tour, so let's get in there and see what's around, huh?
So the suspension is under the engine. These black boxes, that's where the suspension is. These are the friction dampers.
Do you get any movement in there?
Oh yeah, just set whatever you want them, how stiff you want them. Just for the rebound and the way to go down, yeah.
Fully adjustable suspension.
Fully adjustable.
Head of its time.
the military significance of these bikes? Where were they used?
These were used in the Second World War. These were used by the Guardia del Pape, so the Pope, so inside the Vatican when the Pope had to go somewhere, they always followed him.
Wow.
That's the gear indicator. And these were Second World War, so mid-40s.
So would have these been used during the war?
Oh shit, yeah.
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 Wow. Tell us about the Daytona, would you mind? I don't even know the first thing about it.
Neither do I. The first 4-valve engine, fuel injected, in collaboration with John Whitner from America. He was very successful racing them in America. When this one was released, it was too late already because the Ducati, whatever model it was supposed to be competitive as that one, but it was too late already and way too pricey. So it was not a big success then, and now they're very sought after.
Well, what an absolute thrill. I was forewarned that you'll go in there, a boy, and come out Guzzi tragic, and I gotta say it's pretty accurate. It's so cool to see the lineage from the earliest ones to the latest ones, and just the wackiness and quirkiness of the Moto Guzzi brand. I thought I knew a lot about motorcycles, but there's so many things in there I never even knew existed. So, absolute thrill. Now I'm gonna get back on the latest Guzzi for a spin in the twisties with a bit more perspective about it all. Rock and roll.
Nice little straight bit of road. Let's do a bit of an acceleration run. See how we go. Pretty sprightly. I have to say it's an utter pleasure to ride this motorcycle, but I can't really quantify it. I've been sitting in my helmet trying to think of a way of describing it to you, but it's just not like anything else. There are bits of it that remind me of the BMW S1000 XR, kind of a smaller version, but there are also bits of it that remind me of things like a Yamaha FJR 1300 and Honda Blackbird. Yeah, it's sort of in a league of its own.
Well, cop that. That's all right, isn't it? Something we prepared earlier. We just had a pretty good scratch in some twistier stuff, some tighter stuff on this thing, and don't you worry, you can have a dig on these things. I found that because it builds speed so effortlessly and smoothly, you sort of build up so much momentum that you realize, oh my God, I've actually got a pretty big bike I've got to pull up here. But those Brembos do work. They need a bit of squeeze, but yeah, they are plenty of power there. So I should take this opportunity to show you the differences between the two variants. I rode the standard version you see on the left there earlier today, and I've just jumped on the S. So what you get extra for $4,000 with the S, kind of significant. Full semi-active Öhlins suspension, an up-down quick shifter, heated grips, and a bit of a more clever smartphone connectivity system, bit more software in that dash. So you're looking at $28,290 for the standard version or $32,290 for the S. So I'm just going to soak up these views a bit and get stuck right back into this marvelous road on this pretty spectacular Italian motorcycle. How about that?
Well, she's a bit brisk this morning. Back on the Mandello. I'm so enjoying this motorcycle. It's a real sketchy road, but it's a really unintimidating motorcycle to be on, especially when you consider it's, go on Cam, 233 kilograms. She's a big girl, but doesn't feel like it. Keep coming back to that word, planted. It's a smooth and planted bike. Those are the keywords that are really coming up for me. This is sort of starting to approach fuck this territory. She's very slippery and slidey. It looks so beautiful though, don't you reckon? Victoria's forests are just, well, I never get over it. Should photograph really well with this bike, which I think is just so pretty. It harks back to a lot of Moto Guzzi's previous bikes, like I see a lot of Le Mans, but it still looks really modern and fresh and unique.
Well, we braved some really cold stuff today, but we got a really good run down the Reefton Spur. I'm really getting comfortable on this thing. You know, this is a genuinely unique motorcycle and a real fresh take on what it is to be a sports tourer. I think it's worth stretching, if you can, for the Mandello S variant. That Olin suspension really makes a difference for corner stability. And on a sports tourer, you know, it's really nice to have things like heated grips, up-down quick shifter, tyre pressure monitoring, and so forth. So I've really enjoyed riding this motorcycle. It won't be for everyone. It's quirky. It is genuinely Moto Guzzi. But to the right set of eyes, this is a really exciting and really capable new sports tourer and a seismic leap for Moto Guzzi in terms of technology. So let me know what you think.